Go ahead.
We'll call to order the Stevensville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, January 12th, 2025. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Barker. Here. Councilmember Brown. Here. Councilmember Bragg. Here. Councilmember Smith.
Here.
And Mayor Mickelson.
Here. Thank you. Would you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Move along to public comments. Item number 3, public comments on anything not on the agenda, anything not on the agenda tonight. Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. Item A, may I get a motion, please, to approve the special town council meeting minutes of 5/12/25? Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve special town council minutes at 5/12/25.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Bragg.
A second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Bragg. Do we have a discussion from the council on the special meeting minutes? Good. Any comments from the public on a special meeting minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker. Aye. Councilmember Brown. Aye. Councilmember Bragg. Aye. And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number B, council meeting minutes for 5/13/2025. May I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept the committee of the whole meeting minutes of 5/13/25.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
Second motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker. Do we have any comments from the council on the council meeting minutes?
First one I checked that many minutes for the county. It was important.
Is the council good on the minutes? Any comments from the public on the council meeting minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker. Aye. Councilmember Brown. Aye. Councilmember Bragg. Aye. And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving along to item number 5, approval of bi-weekly claims. May I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve bi-weekly claims number 19691 through 19737.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. May I have a second, please? Councilmember Bragg.
A second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Bragg. Do we have any comments from the public on the claims?
It's from the public?
Hmm?
You said from the public?
Oh, excuse me, from the council. Councilmember Smith.
I move to consider item 19714 separate from the other claims.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second?
What was the claim number again? Sorry.
19714.
Councilmember Brown.
I'll second that.
We have a motion. We have a second on item 19714. To exclude that. Is that correct?
No, to look at it
Oh, okay.
separately.
Separate, okay. Would you like to go through the other claims first, or this one? Okay. We're looking at item 19714. Any comments from the council?
Look at that one now or after?
Yes, right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this particular expenditure here, and this was done by a contract by our mayor on 5/20. This was a contract that was not brought before the council. It's for an expenditure of $4,000 now, of 4,265.43. We have a contract with RTC that was signed, and was for $4,070. So we're looking at an expenditure of 4.8% over that amount of a contract that should have been signed without the council approval. Now, there is my objection to this.
Okay. Yes, there was a contract signed by me. I thought I was in the parameters. It was in the fiscal budget. I should have got, as Councilmember Brown mentioned before, when that came up, I should have got the written quotes. I did not. You guys received an email from Gina, that's what she thought it was. Backtracking now, yes, I made a mistake. Should have got 2 quotes. But by the council approving the previous claim, they pretty much approved this.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. You prove it item by item.
Okay?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
if I could make another motion, I'd like to make a motion to recess for about 10 minutes so that this council can get a tour of what was done and any other member present of the people, see what this job was.
Sure.
We could get an approval of that.
Yes. We get a motion?
I made that motion
Okay,
to
we get a second.
recess for about 10 minutes.
We take a second.
Sure. I'll
We
second.
have a motion, we have a council second to take a recess, to go look at that. What was done? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion from the council? Go ahead.
I just need to remind the public that the live stream will be on during this recess. I cannot turn it off. So please keep that in mind. Thank you.
So any other public can go in as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
We have a motion, we have a second. Take a vote.
That's it.
Yes.
Councilor Barker?
Aye.
Councilor Brown? Aye. Councilor Bragg?
Aye.
And Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. We'll take a 10-minute recess. Council, and the public can go look at.
Please.
How are you?
Just working on some soccer off. Still another board thing. Figure out how to clean it. How are you doing?
Windy. Yeah. Summer. Which just means baseball. Yeah.
Perfect. How was your season?
They did, I mean, they did better than the last 2 seasons, for sure.
Oh, that's
Yeah, definitely an improvement.
good. Okay.
I mean, they were almost, I think they maybe were 1 game short of 500 in conference. So that's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it just, all the conflicts with soccer and running around, I was like, I just want to go, but I just couldn't,
Yeah, no.
you know,
So much.
but, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, how's soccer going? Is it?
We just have the littles, the U12s have a tournament in Helena, so I'm trying to get their final rosters and it's all changing, you know, last minute.
Of course.
Yeah, but it was a good season, I thought. I mean, we had to get all together and it's a hard system, and then Ralph did everything, and so we were kind of just like, can we get it together? But we had 16. Yeah, 16.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was really good. Yeah, it was good. And now we have a month and a half off, and then, it starts again.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird this year.
But, yeah, it'll be different, but then, the boys were used to CJ and, Henry Nelson.
Yeah, no.
Not here, and he is here, Daniel. So, and, and those boys go to Hawaii, and we're losing that big U19 group, but,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah.
Hi ma'am, can we help you?
Is this the Waterloo
Hey.
City Hall?
This is our town council meeting.
Yes, that one, thank you.
Is there anything specific that you were coming in for tonight?
No, I'm just here.
Great, please grab a seat, and there's I believe, an extra agenda sitting there as well. We are on what's left of about a 7-minute or so left on our recess, and then the council will be back at the open session.
Yeah, the town council meeting, and that was so great. I put the two numbers in there, and then I just emailed to the roster, see if that works. And if not, I can do it tonight when I get home, but I try on my phone. I don't know why I couldn't get in there. I know. And so Eric wanted me to do it where it just says common number, instead of W's stacking like number. He said that they wouldn't, some tournaments won't approve that. They just want 2 numbers on it. Anyway, so I did that, not for all of them, I just did it on Cardoza, and then, I added 3 for box. Yeah, just look at, see if it opens, and if it doesn't, just text me. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, if his name changes, I know. Thanks. Okay, bye. Okay, that's okay.
Thank you.
Don't forget.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes.
And it have opened up,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Had a short break to look at the remodel in the office, so we'll move along. Correct?
Sure.
We'll move along, and any other? Councilman Brown?
Council comments? Are we still?
Yes,
Okay.
on all the comments.
Um, Okay, I would like the citizens of town of Stevensville to be aware that on the claims for May 22nd, claim number 19690 was approved by the council. All the council members voted aye on the claims that night. We could have pulled that claim out and asked more questions that night. We did not. The claim does fall under the Town of Stevensville Purchasing Policy, Section 7B2. The council is the check and balance for the town government, so it was also our fault. I apologize for my mistake, and I'm working hard to better myself as a council member.
Councilmember Smith.
I too agree with the Councilwoman Brown. And I understand where you're coming from in your apology, and believe me, I take it, because I have been in your spot on corporations that have larger budgets than this city, and I've made those mistakes too, so I know what you're feeling. But I would like to get it on record here that the most, if you want to say egregious thing is, yeah, it may violate our policy, it may violate that type of thing, but most importantly, it violates the Constitution for the people's right to know. That's the public. And that's why it's so important we bring these contracts out of the open and to the public. And with that, I'm still going to approve it.
Yes, and thank you all. And like I said, this wasn't something that I was trying to hide from the public, something I was trying to sweep under the rug. This was an oversight on Gina's and mine. Go ahead, Gina.
So we did have the money in the budget.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was in the budget, so that fell within that purchasing policy. So we really didn't violate anything because we had the money in the budget, and based on what we had looked at, we were okay to approve that amount. So it wasn't like we were trying to scoop anything or, blow smoke over anybody's eyes or anything like that. I'm the last one that wants to make a mistake, we know that.
Yes.
But it was in the budget, it was taken out of the 3 different departments, and so it didn't go over that, so. That's just.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public on the claims? Are there any other claims that the council wants to look at? Before I go to the public.
Yes, here. On claim number 19726, or excuse me, 19727 on all the claims for Glen Bites. It just looks like it's a duplicate, is that?
Yeah, no, so that's a really good question. So, per state law, we have to have a wastewater certified operator oversee the plant. Glenn is no longer an employee with us, so we hired him as a contractor because we have to do that, and he agreed to do that. And the reason that they're split up is because I have to account for his hours for each of those months. So I couldn't have put it all in the month of May because he worked for us in November, December, so the budget, the expenditures in the budget had to reflect the services when they happened. Does that make sense? So I have November, December, January, February, March, and April on there. So that's why they're all separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of the public may not know, but Glenn was one of our waterworks guys down there. He has since retired. We have Steve Lasser, who is now the head supervisor down there, who's actually worked really hard to get his water certifications, and from what I understand, he just passed it. Congratulations. So in the meantime, we had to have somebody down there to be able to make sure that the water was upright, whatever testing that needs to be done, so that we would stay in balance with the state, so.
We have to, I just want to clear that up, we have to have Glenn because Glenn is wastewater.
Correct.
He got the water
Right.
certification, yeah, Glenn has the wastewater.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then we
That's
have
by
some,
resolution.
who's the new gentleman that is working on getting his certification? Kevin. Okay.
And I'd also like to add that when Glenn retired and left us, and we brought him back as a contractor, one of the stipulations was, you cannot bill me until later because of his retirement or whatever he collects. He couldn't collect right away, so we had to hold off on paying him.
Okay. Thank you, Gina.
Any other questions from the council? Councilmember Brown?
Claim number 19709. Just asking where the doggy waste roll bags. This is the first time I've seen it come up. Did we go through a case or
That's about once a year.
once a year?
Yeah, that's why you'll remember, they last, I go ahead and get it up, so I don't have
Okay,
to do it every month.
that was my question, how many do we go through or?
Any other comments from the council on the claims? All right, I'll move to the public. Any comments from the public on the claims? Mr. Duff,
Is it appropriate to ask clarifying questions during this period?
on the claim?
On the whole thing, on specifically the claim that Wally Smith brought forth.
Okay,
I just wanted to know, because you had, Cindy Brown mentioned that actually it was approved. Is that correct, that it was approved before?
part of it was approved before.
Part of it was approved?
Yes, $1,000 something was approved before.
Okay, so that amount was approved, but a higher amount was used than what was approved?
No, there was only one claim of $1,000. Part of this $4,000 was
Gotcha,
approved.
gotcha,
And
okay,
then tonight's claim is 3,000 something, and that was,
I see. And what date was that?
The first part was a down, was the 10% down or something that they required to start the project.
And what was the date on that?
We approved that May 22nd.
Okay, I gotcha, I understand. The last thing was, where is your office now? Do they have you on the street, or?
no, if you blink, you'll miss it. It's Robert's old office.
Gotcha, very good.
Used to be a closet.
I appreciate that, thank you very much.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, any other comments from the public? Seeing none, to know, take the vote.
Councilmember Barker,
I,
Councilmember Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Bragg,
I,
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Move on to administrative reports. Airport, Mr. Bryan.
All right. Let's see.
starting with maintenance, not a lot to report. Just the normal mowing and mowing and mowing is really all that's going on from a maintenance standpoint up there. So thank you for a small group of volunteers, including Craig back there in the corner, that have done the lion's share of keeping that place looking good this year. CIP project, so we're kind of just in a holding pattern right now, waiting for the feds to start releasing funds. So as soon as they do, we'll get these projects kicked off, but until then, there's not a lot we can do without having those funds in the bank. Fuel, we'll talk about fuel a little bit later as well, but really kind of down to the end on the maintenance or QC inspections and the various bits of work that needed to be performed coming out of that. There was a bit more work performed yesterday. There was some piping replaced, filters replaced. Drawing a blank at the moment, but some pressure testing, et cetera, that was all done yesterday. The last thing that we are waiting on is for the cleaner to show up to do his work and give it a clean bill of health, so to speak. And then we'll be off and running there. Let's see, and then lastly, Forest Service. We talked last week, our last meeting, about a meeting we had with Tyler Brothers with the Forest Service. He had indicated that he thought that perhaps they would be activating the LUA sooner as opposed to later. Haven't really heard anything about that since. It's been pretty quiet. The weather kind of cooled down immediately after that meeting. Obviously, it's warmed back up recently, but we'll see kind of what happens after this storm, et cetera, if there's any new fires that have started and if we'll benefit at all from that. But other than that, that's about it for me. Any questions?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Do you have that target date of when the first plane can come up and pump?
Where the first plane can come up and pump? I'm gonna hold back from giving my estimates at this moment because we're waiting on a single guy to come and do this cleaning that just had a stroke about a week and a half ago. So, we're just being patient and allowing him to kind of get his feet back under him, and then he'll be on site to do the work. So,
Thank you.
yeah, you bet.
Thanks, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Building department, finance, fire department, Jeff's not here. Police report, I'll read it to you. You have it in front of you, so it's you to the public. The police department monthly activity report. Oh, by the way, Chief Bo is at the academy today and tomorrow. They have asked him to go there to do training. In fact, last year when he was going over there for training, they offered him a job. So we're very lucky to have somebody like him. So, and that only brings Stephenville forward and better when we take one of our officers to go there to train cadets and officers at the state academy. That's a pretty big deal. So I'd like to mention that. So we'll go back to calls of service. We had 56 in May. Arrests, we had 2 arrests, 14 traffic citations, 12 traffic stops, 1 traffic accident, 0 vehicle tows, 0 homicides, 0 robberies, 0 burglaries, 2 thefts, 1 assault, 0 sex crimes, 1 fraud crime, 0 crime of mischief, 0 privacy communications, 2 threats of intimidation, 2 suspicious activities, 1 disturbance, 0 unattended deaths, 3 welfare checks, 2 lost and found property, 6 burglar alarms, 9/11 hangups, and 2 victim notifications. So, pretty busy month for Mr. Bo. We'll move along to Public Works. Steve.
Okay, briefly, we did fill the new position for the parks manager. He started Monday, this week. Man, it's been a long week. Okay. Training him now, his name is Jerry Gala. He's a good guy. I think he's going to make it. We dug a new water line and connected it to that bad dry spot following the valley. Got water going back to it. First time that since I've been here. And reseeded it as well, so should be some good stuff coming up in there in the next week or so. Dug a new water line also at the south end of the skate park. because there were no sprinklers down there for some reason. And the south end of it has always been a desert. So we had new sprinkler heads in there, this week. Painted the curb from the coffee shop. And as Stacy said, I did pass my drinking water operator's exam, so now Cody and I both are certified operators. So that was it.
And I'll let the council know about the new hire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce,
Never mind.
Bruce,
Just one bit of information, the sprinkler head at Otterwood Valley Park, it should be close to the intersection of College and 9th. When I'm walking in the morning to catch the I-Ride van, it's watering the street, or the street is wet, more than half the street, so that sprinkler head, if you
just needs adjustment.
adjust a
It's a
little
new
bit.
one. You know why? It's because the porta potty was out there and the sprinkler head was hitting it. Now that porta potty is gone, now you can see it.
Okay,
Okay, good. I'll go back and check it.
okay, thank you.
Councilman.
When is splash pad opening? I know I've seen a lot of people asking, or
Yeah, they asked me a lot too. Had to order a major part for it. Tracking number says it'll be here Monday. It's something that we can do. I thought I would have to get a plumb. I'll look at it real good today and we can do it. If we do get it Monday, maybe we can get it up Tuesday, Wednesday, time frame.
and then the pool is opening the same time, Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
The pool's going well. It filled quickly. There's no leaks. The pump started up great. Filter's working great. And started chlorinating it today. You know, the chlorine and the pH pumps are running really well. I'm just like walking on ice and scared to see.
The paint looks great.
The paint
Yeah.
is good.
It's really good.
Yeah,
It's really good.
yeah, it's like I said, the end of a 3-year deal. And it's finally come together. Now we're gonna have merchandise down there to sell this summer.
The stuff right there in the doorway.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty nice about that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. I think that'll do well, because who doesn't want to sell souvenirs from when their kids on home? So it's pretty good. That's a positive note. Thanks to the ladies in the office for bringing that all around, forcing you to do it, making you have time to do it. It worked.
Steve's going in 35 different directions. Thank you, Steve. Okay, we're moving on to item number 7, unfinished business, discussion decision, Fuel Master Fuel Management System Extended Maintenance Agreement between Syntex Systems Incorporated and the town of Stephenville. May I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Bartley.
I make a motion to approve Fuel Master Fuel Management System Extended Maintenance Agreement between Syntec Systems Incorporated and the town of Stevensville.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. We have a second. We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a discussion from the council, or would the council like to have Brian come up and fill us in?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
You bet. Thank you. Okay, so we'll spend just a few seconds here just recapping what this thing was, right? So this is a maintenance service agreement with Syntec Fuel Master. So they manufacture and then ultimately service the point of sale pedestal at the airport's fuel tank. It's $850 for a 6-month term. They normally don't do 6-month terms, they do 1-year terms, but because of our situation where we get our permanent tank here later on this year, they agreed to do a 6-month, basically a half, 50% prorated term. And this agreement covers technical support and parts for that point of sale system. And the whole, it's really what we're doing is kind of trying to just get our arms around any additional service liabilities. As I had stated last time, we have already accumulated about $830 in service just to get the system up and running. Every time you pick up the phone with them, they start charging you by the hour. So for an extra $20, we basically will get every other service call and parts now for a 15-year-old system, so it's gonna need parts presumably at some point. We'll get all those for an additional $20. So that's what is being proposed here. I want to address some of the comments that were made during the public comment period last week. Our previous manager, during multiple visits to the podium, made a number of claims, and I'm not going to go in and go down all of them, but there's a few important ones that I just want to clarify. One was there was a claim that the town cannot enter into this lease agreement because there's a dispute over the ownership of the tank. Also, there was an assertion that entering into a service agreement would somehow constitute an attempt to steal the tank. This is a little unclear. And then there was also a claim that he had a hold placed on the Fuel Master account that was associated with this pedestal. So with that, I'm going to go now and touch on all of these things, kind of in a summary of the history of the ownership. So Hawthorne, Ascension, it's the same company, two names, has owned this tank for many years now. In April of this last year, City Services Valcon entered into a purchase agreement with Hawthorne to buy the Stevensville Fuel Farm. So by fuel farm, we're referring to the tank, the point of sale pedestal, the pump, and the dispenser. So really everything associated with delivering fuel into the aircraft. Upon completion of that sale, City Services then offered to lease that fuel farm back to the town of Stevensville. As you're aware, we have entered into a lease agreement with City Services and are leasing that entire fuel infrastructure from them right now. So in your agenda packet, there's documentation showing the Hawthorne Ascension invoice to City Services for the purchase, the receipt confirming full payment and transfer of ownership, and an email confirming that the sale included the tank, dispenser pump, and Fuel Master pedestal. The claim of ownership, or the dispute of ownership that was mentioned last time, that really has no bearing on the town, right? Because any dispute of ownership would be between that individual and Hawthorne, Ascension, maybe City Services, but we're kind of twice removed from that issue. We have a legal lease with the legal owner of that tank. So that claim is really not very relevant to what we're trying to do here. Let's see, status of the Fuel Master account. It was true that the Fuel Master account was frozen as a result of the previous manager's actions. Following their own internal investigation, they determined that that City Services had, legally purchased this tank, that we had a legal lease, and so as a result of that investigation, they released control of the account to City Services in the town of Stevensville. That is also in that agenda packet. There's an email documenting Syntex release of the account. So the town has acted transparently and appropriately, relying on a valid lease with City Services, who is the legal owner of the fuel farm. The proposed service agreement with Syntec is a practical, cost-effective step in trying to manage the airport's expenses. And I think approval of this agreement just shows our commitment to a safe and efficient airport operation.
Thank you, Glenn. Any questions from the council?
To the mayor or the airport manager, has our town attorney looked at all this and given the thumbs up?
He's been involved in every bit of this. Yep. He has.
I want to thank everybody who spent all that hard time tracking down who actually was the ownership of that tank. That really clears up the problem for this decision. Thank you very much.
Brian was working very hard.
Everybody's been involved, so thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown.
Aye.
Councilmember Gregg.
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving along to new business, item number A, opening of bids of the water distribution system leak detection services. As you know, this is part of the ARPA grant that we had last year. This was in that grant. So we put out RFPs. HDR did it for us. And so we're opening the bids tonight. So with that, can we please open?
Yes, we received 3. The first one is from Scott Enterprises and LDT Solutions, LLC. The amount of their bid was $6,000 even.
6,000?
6,000 even, yes. The second one was from Water XYZ, and that was out of Missoula, and I apologize. The other one, Scott Enterprises, is Nottingham, Maryland. Okay, Water XYZ. $9,500. And the third one is from American Leak Detection. And I believe that they're out of Hayden, Idaho.
You said it again, American what?
American Leak Detection. And they are out of Hayden, Idaho. And their total was $10,080.
So with that, I would ask the council if it'd be okay if we took these bids back to HDR, have them review them for clarity, since we put the RFPs out on, and then we will bring it back on the 26th to award the bid. Does that work? That works. Okay. Okay, thank you. Moving along to item number B, discussion decision, special event permit for the 20th Annual Scarecrow Festival. May I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion for the special event permit for the 20th Annual Scarecrow Festival.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker, do we have a second? Councilmember Smith. We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith, do we have a discussion from the council? Councilmember Barker.
So can we have them get up and just
You bet.
clarify what streets you're gonna have closed off for the event?
Are we on
The permit.
Go ahead.
Oh, we're on the permit?
For the permit, yeah.
Oh, okay. As before, the scarecrows will be located on Main Street. Third Street will be closed for one block on either side, but Main Street will remain open. One side is for food trucks, the other is for activities, kids' activities, the maze, the DJ, that kind of thing. So the only thing that's closed is Third Street, either side of Main, for Friday and Saturday. It's all open again on Sunday.
So, just a question for you. I know they've incorporated it before the farmer's market also runs that last Saturday of that month. So, but you say you've got East Third closed off for your
We
main
will
street.
accommodate the farmer's market for sure.
There's no maze on that side.
Where are your mazes at then?
The mazes are, where they usually are over in the parking lot.
Oh,
In the
okay,
parking lot.
okay.
Yeah,
I was like, mazes, not that.
They usually have the activities in the evenings on Friday, like the dances and the kids
over there.
things
Just
over in the
there.
area where you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's
So
been
there's a
better.
stage on one corner.
Right,
So the farmer's market
where
is
it's always
not.
been, where it's always been. Perfect.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, Lily.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the public on the Scarecrow Festival? Seeing none, Janelle, would please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Bragg, and Councilmember Brown.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number C, discussion decision, placement of a permanent sculpture at Greenway Park. So as we know, this came before the park board. Park board highly recommended that this sculpture, metal sculpture, be put at the Greenway Park.
Well, we'll go over the details. If I can, the papers.
So with the council's permission, would it be okay to have him do a presentation before we do a motion? Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're declaring this the 20th Stevensville Scarecrow Festival. And what we would like to do to make it special is we discussed a number of things, and there might be more than this, but just more fun. But the one thing that we want permission for from you is we would like to install a permanent scarecrow. And this is the design. We asked that the person designing, Laura Jean Newby, not make it scary, but make it beautiful. So if some of the scarecrows that you've seen have been flower women, all flowers, this is based on that. So we would, as a scarecrow committee, raise all of the money. We're not asking for any city funds. It would be done by Laura Jean Welding, who is a professional artist.
Who has participated in the Scarecrow Festival for many years.
Yeah, used to
If you've
sell
seen
her
it.
work at River's Nest. It would be located in the Creamery Park area, inset just a bit, but facing Main Street, but not impacting anybody's walkway. We had considered the corners of Third and Main, but that would be much more impactful. This is set into the park a little, so it's just welcoming you to the park. The sculpture will be installed on a 3-by-3 foot concrete pad and stable with a post in the middle. About 6 feet tall. We said incorporate bitterroot flowers. And no maintenance is required. So essentially what we're asking you for is no money, no maintenance, permission. And we would like the park board to speak to this because it has been presented and approved by the park.
I'm Renee Endicott. I am a part of the park board, and we had a meeting just recently. It was unanimously approved. We love the idea. It's beautiful, and our town has multiple art features in town. I think it's going to fit perfectly, and it's situated, I think, in a perfect spot. That park, there's a lot of potential for it. We've talked about it for years, and I think this is just the beginning of making it even more amazing. Situated right next to Mission, you'll be able to see it from the main street, and without any maintenance, and, having a professional install it, I don't have any issues or think that there could be any issues that would come up with it. So, yeah, we approve it and we were just bringing it to you guys for approval as well.
Amanda, do you want to add any?
Okay.
Great. So we're asking for approval.
So you're gonna put it in the Creamery Park area. Where, do you know exactly where that's gonna be?
Yes.
Yes, she just explained it.
So as you're looking at Creamery Park, Bistro's on the left-hand side. So you're walking in, there's a planting area and then an open space, and behind that are 2 picnic tables set back. But on the right-hand side, there's a lamppost and a tree, and just enough room in between the 2 against the sort of reddish orangish wall. So she would be standing in there saying, come into the park.
It does the color in the background will differentiate. You'll be able to see it. It'll pop right there.
And what she's holding is fused glass. And as it rains, there'll be water and the birds will come. We're considering putting a crow on the other shoulder.
Okay, so, go ahead.
Did you have anything else planned for the bowl other than just rainwater?
For the bowl,
Would there be
no.
flowers
We don't have
or
any.
something like that?
This would just be permanent, so no one can take anything or, so that's, I guess, the idea. But there could be, ideas, I guess. I don't know, but I would just think that, someone could take something.
Who knows, you might collect a few coins.
I know.
If anybody if none of the council has seen her stuff, I advise you to get onto Facebook and look up her work because she is an amazing artist. She does a lot of commission pieces, and not just here, all over the place. She's a very talented young lady. I know that she started as a welder at Montana Fabrication at the time it was Selway Corporation. So she does have a little history behind her here in Stevensville. So she is a well-known artist and very, very, very talented. So.
Okay, any other questions for these 3 ladies? Thank you.
Thanks.
So with that, can I entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Clark.
I make a motion to approve placement of a permanent sculpture at Creamery Park.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. May I have a second, please? Councilmember Bragg.
I second.
We have a motion. May I have a second by Councilmember Bragg. Do we have any further discussion from the council on the sculpture at Creamery Park? Any comments from the public on the sculpture at Creamery Park? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Yes. Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Bragg? Aye. Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
And Councilmember Barker?
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. We'll move along to discussion decision, item D, additional parking for Father Valley Park. Councilmember Brown.
I move that the council table this decision for additional parking at Father River Valley Park. We have a little bit more work to do for finding out about the big utility box. That's right there at the corner. I will do my best to see if I can't find out more information in the public record at the county on that. So until we have such time, we don't want the town to incur a big bill for this. So until that time, I feel we should table this.
Okay, we have a motion to table item number D.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith. We have any further discussion from the council? Any discussion from the public? Tanya?
Okay, so we did have a meeting on Monday, and so I actually dug into it a little bit more. So I spoke with Monday. Actually, I had a job at Ramona's place, and we had Ed Sutherland there, and he's like, "You guys can't move that. There's too much money into that. That's all fiber optics, whatever." So I actually contacted CenturyLink, one of the guys who works for CenturyLink. He said, that it is 3812 East Side Highway. The Xbox is all copper. And it services all of East Side, all of Pine Hollow, all of Middle Burntford. So, and I said, so is there a possibility of moving it? He said, leave it alone. Let it be. It is way too much money to move it. And I mean, there's a lot of customers who would be out their CenturyLink stuff and all that. So, that is what I got today.
Thank you, Tanya.
You're welcome.
Any other comments from the public?
Like, I would be interested to know how deep the lines go in the ground. Because if they go into real gravel, us removing the hill beside that wouldn't bother. That's what we need to know. I can't imagine they would put,
Call before you dig.
yeah, but they hardly locate for me. But I can't imagine they put all that info in that amount of dirt. That would just be crazy. I wonder if they went all the way below the amount of dirt into the ground, just like everywhere else. I can't imagine.
Especially when that section has access to Main Street.
Yeah, I can't.
And has for a long time.
If they did that, that's a mistake on their part.
Councilmember Brown, do you know how long that? You would know, Ramona, how long
It's
is that?
been there 30 plus years at least, I think.
I know it's
I
been
would
here since I
say-
moved here 24 years ago.
I would have to say,
Well, the fire department used to set up a little small ice skating rink in that area at one time.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's been 30, maybe even 40 years.
It's been a long time.
Further
So what-
comment? Go ahead.
So what would be our options if we can't use that for anything? What would we be looking at?
Well, we have to find another access in there, and I don't know where we would get that.
So let's say that we find that that piece of property is not useful for anything other than what Ramona has for her, which went outside the,
For polls?
I guess, the realm where her storage units are, that's what I want to say. She's used part of that property.
Well, she used to have a
So
variance.
is there, that's the thing, so is there a variance for that?
No, it expired.
It expired. So where do we find, how does she reapply, or is there, I mean, I guess there's so many different questions. If we can't use that piece of property, what do we do with it?
That's up to, if the town decides they don't want to use that property for anything else, and then she could feel free to come back before and
For another
for
variance?
another variance. Councilmember Brown.
And I do believe last year we did learn at MMIA that the variances with the law change is now can be approved by the mayor.
Correct.
And it doesn't have to come before the council.
That is correct. But I would do my due diligence to make sure that it was done right. And I'd be working with our town attorney on it to make sure that it is all the dots and i's. So there wouldn't be any confusion by some of the public if she were to come and request a variance. So,
I'm just trying to think of different options. If we can't get that access to that piece of property for extra parking, what do we use it for?
Councilmember Brown.
If I can find the documentation, at least we have a company we can call. Hopefully they have some plans that Steve can look at to see how deep those lines are buried. And it looks like Brad might have a suggestion.
Yeah, and there's an individual in particular that I'm thinking of that we use all the time that he just does private locate services, but he can tell you everything about that line, the depth, exactly where it's at, way more than 811 does for us. He's extremely reasonable, honestly. And that, if that's what's holding this up, I mean, I would say that would maybe be a good option to really get just very educated on where that line is, and that would help us, I think, maybe make that decision a little easier.
Could you get that name to me?
Absolutely.
We can move that forward and see where we're at. That would be great. Thank you, Brian.
Mhm.
Any other comments from the public? Public council. Any comments from the public? Now, this is the table, correct? Okay. Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
To table this item. Councilmember Bragg? Aye. Councilmember Brown? Aye. Councilmember Barker? Aye. And Councilmember Smith?
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number E, discussion decision, resolution number 531B, a resolution of the Stephenville Town Council adopting job descriptions for the town of Stephenville. So as you know, we brought this forward at the special meeting. Nancy Lowell got up and wanted to change, and somebody else got up and it was Councilmember Barker wanted to change. The changes are in there tonight, so we're bringing those changes before you.
These are stuff, this is different. No, these are additional changes.
Additional changes, that's what I mean.
Right, not the ones that were made last week, at the last meeting, they already made those changes and they were approved by resolution
Oh,
531.
okay, these are the additional changes.
531B is changing the job description. I think it's changing two things, Ms. Barker.
Supervises the pool staff was one of the changes.
And then down to certification.
And then we have
Thank you.
the certified pool operator certified as soon as possible will acquire a playground safety inspector, which is the CPSI certification as soon as possible as well.
Yeah. So these are additional. Yes.
Okay, so that, can you get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 531B, a resolution of the town of Stevensville Council adopting job descriptions for the town of Stevensville.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker, we have a second. We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith, do we have a discussion from the council? Councilmember.
Unfortunately, I did find a typo in the document. It's Montana Code 7-4-420. I think that's supposed to be 420:01. I don't know why it jumped out at me. If I went and looked for 7-4-420, couldn't find it, but could find 4201.
4201.
Yes.
And 4201 would be salaried officers.
Yes, I believe that is the correct
It
one.
is.
Thank you, because I was like, why didn't I catch this before?
No, that's a good catch, Cindy.
In the resolution, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Third item down, Loretta.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any further discussion from the council? Any discussion from the public on the job description? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bragg?
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number F, discussion decision, resolution number 569, a resolution adopting wages for the pool staff for the town of Stephenville. Can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve resolution 569, a resolution for adopting wages for this pool staff for the town of Stevensville, Montana.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a second? Councilmember Bragg.
A second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilmember Bragg. Do we have a discussion from the council on resolution 569? Councilmember Barker.
I know we've discussed this and probably most people don't realize this, but we discussed this last night at our Cal meeting. And it's unusual that we should be adopting wages before we actually get our budget approved, but these people did not get any wages increase last year. So that's why I believe it's on tonight's agenda to make sure that they do get their wage increase.
Chief?
So when the budget, so the pool is kind of unique, right? Because they fall in 2 fiscal years. 2 weeks of their pay is in 1 fiscal year. The rest of their time serving as a lifeguard is in the next fiscal year. When we passed the budget last year, they didn't take into account the raises for this year. So you kind of got to think ahead. So when we were talking about that in the budget, we were talking about how we really need to think a year ahead for the lifeguards and what that will look like. So the reason that we wanted to bring that forth tonight is to kind of take care of the wage increase that they didn't get last year. And a couple of reasons. One, we don't retro our wages, so we couldn't go back and pay them. Secondly, we didn't pass the budget till September. Well, they're no longer working in September because the pool is closed in August. So going forward, for the next budget year, we're going to be looking at those wages that should cover that. But we just needed to put this out there to take care of those folks that really weren't taken care of last year, the year before, or the year before. So, and it's really hard. We struggled really hard to get lifeguards this year because nobody wants to work for $12 an hour.
We're still.
And we're still not full. So, it makes it hard to keep the pool open unless we did just open swim, which you don't make any money on open swim, right? But you still have to have lifeguards there. So, but we make our revenue on the swimming lessons. And swimming lessons, you have to have so many lifeguards per hour. And when you're down 4 lifeguards, you can't have as many swimming lessons. So, I think the first year I was here, we had like 13 lifeguards. Last year we had 8, and we figured 8 was a good place to be. And so now we have 6 plus our pool manager. So, and we've also decided this year that we're going to sell T-shirts and snacks and water and Gatorade to bring in that extra revenue to kind of help with the pool. And we have to thank, she's not here, Stephen's wife, Amanda, who put those awesome shirts together for us to sell to the folks. And she did, and the bag, and she did such a good job. And so we're really trying to be very creative and, bringing revenue into the pool. We're all super excited about it, So, so we just gotta do what we can to keep that pool open because it's very expensive for sure.
Councilmember Smith?
I have a question of personal ignorance, which I hope will be overcome in just a second. What is Montana's minimum wage?
10.
It's at 10:25 for some reason, but
10:25?
I believe so.
10:23.
10:55.
10:55?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Just one question, if we pass this resolution and for some reason we can't get our budget to balance out, is there any way we can go back and amend this resolution or no?
Probably not. You might have to be higher, I don't believe. Once you give them a wage, you're not gonna demote them. And then on this next budget, I think they're at that same rate right now.
the wage that's in front of you is what was
Yeah.
last night, yes.
Any other comments from council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown,
No.
Councilmember Bragg.
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-1. Thank you. Moving on to item number D, discussion decision, approval of Stephenville Airport lease swap. Mr. Bryan.
What in front of you, Brian?
I have it here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is a proposed lease swap, so an individual leaseholder right now at the airport holds a lease for Block 3, Lot 4, and has requested to exchange that lease for another available lot, Block 1, Lot 13. Both are undeveloped. They're empty dirt lots at this point. So I'm proposing that we vacate his existing lease, draft up a new 20-year lease at the current 14-cent lease rate. His existing lease is at the 6-cent. So we'll draft a new one at the 14 cents, but I'm also proposing that we don't collect the infrastructure fee because that was already collected on the current lease that he has not developed yet.
So with that, could I get a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move that we adopt approval for Stevensville Airport lease swap.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Brown.
A second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Brown. We have a discussion on the council on the lease. Councilmember Smith.
Are we, in exchange of these two buildings here, are we, is he, the lease, is he gaining or losing square footage? Or is it the same?
So it's basically the same. So right now, the lot, there's an adjustment going on in the ALP right now, the airport layout plan that Morrison Merrill's putting together. Essentially, it's a wash in square footage. His existing lease space can be a 56 by 62, and this new one, what he's going to be putting on it is a 54 by 65. So it's almost like we're within a few square feet of one another. So, yeah.
Councilmember Brown.
Did this go through the airport board and did they approve this?
So after ordinance 141 went through, the airport board is no longer required to approve leases, anything to do with leases. Construction, but not the leases themselves. So it was discussed, but in front of the board, but it was not asked for a vote of approval.
Ordinance 141 doesn't require that anymore. It has to be approved by the board with recommendation. Still has to come before the council, which it is tonight.
Yeah.
That was one to be approved when Mr. Rowe was the manager. Councilmember Brown.
And he doesn't have a problem paying, going from 6 cents to 14 cents?
Yep, he's okay with it. Yep.
More cash.
Yeah, it's more cash for the airport, yeah.
Councilmember Smith.
And that also means that the other location then also goes up to 14 when it.
When it gets leased, it'll now be at 14 as well.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And he's prepared to start building this summer. So it's all good because then that's tax revenue as well.
Any other comments from the council? Thanks, Brian. Any
Thank you.
comments from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bragg. Aye. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown. Aye. And Councilmember Barker.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Board reports, town council comments.
Board reports.
Oh, yes, board reports, you.
Park board report, which Steve gave, pretty much. We did talk about getting some grant money in. We talked about trying to do a picnic in the park once a month and having food trucks, but that kind of got changed with the town's insurance policy, so we have to actually find somebody who would sponsor that and carry insurance. The updated restrooms, which I'm assuming the mayor will have information on that tonight in his executive report. And the only thing was the Steve thought the sensor was out and that it might still be under warranty at this.
It's not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was out. We talked about the statue. We also talked about the pickleball court and, having the pickleball club do some type of agreement with the town. I don't know where that ended up with, anybody contacting, that club. That's it for the board report.
There's one good thing about having Brian here at the airport manager is he gives a report that really covers the airport board report. I really have nothing to add to his extensive reports that he's given.
Thank you, Councilmember Smith. Is that it for Councilmember?
Actually, we met the planning and zoning, met on the 4th of June. We came together, we had Jerry
Rubik?
Rubik, yes, via Zoom with us, talked about more finalizing what the survey looks like, tweaking it a little bit by getting a little bit more involved with the kids side of it, having some questions that they could answer. Also putting together pictures, each one of us are going to be taking pictures around town of different things that maybe we can put into the growth plan. We'll send those to Janelle, and then we'll just kind of narrow those down a little bit more. Very excited, being involved with planning and zoning board right now and seeing what we're doing as a group coming together has been amazing. We've all really just meshed quite well. And so very excited to see where we're going to be standing at. We're going to get posters out there that people can actually do like what they call a QR code, and it'll take them right to that survey as well. So we're trying to find some key spots where we can put these at, as well as different community activities within the area. So.
We'll move along to council comments. Councilmember Brown.
At this time, I would remind all council members that we need to be very careful on what we're saying on websites. We should not be talking about any regarding the upcoming election or any of the board members. Please remember that when you're on the websites. I personally don't belong to any social media websites, so please remember that.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Brown. Any other council comments?
I had one, but I probably should talk to you about it because you're on the Parks Board. So, as I've been going to the park with, I have a friend who has a little kid, we've noticed a lot of trash, and I was wondering if we could do like maybe a day during the week that we could maybe get the town kind of involved and maybe trying to just go and pick up trash, but I don't know how we would go about that.
Councilmember Brown.
Tanya was here. Tanya is a good person to contact. She is in charge of the park board, so that we can get it set up and talk about it at the park board. Then we can make a recommendation.
Okay.
That's a great idea, and I told you I would love to be part of that group.
I will send Tanya's email over to you.
Okay, awesome.
Any other council comments? Okay, we'll move on to the executive report. On June 2nd, I attended a wastewater plant location meeting in Hamilton. On the 5th of June, I attended a local government training session in Hamilton with Janelle and Drina. On the 10th, I attended an audit review with Angela of Denning and Downing, and Gina, Robert, and Stacy were also in attendance. On the 26th of this month, we're having a water and wastewater training class here in the town hall. We'll probably get a pretty good area of people that will come here. That's a very big deal. And as we mentioned earlier, Mr. Lassiter passed his water certification test. Andrina, our utility clerk, is putting together a safety audit for Public Works that will be followed up with a safety audit for Town Hall, Police, and the Fire Department. We'll be working with all the department heads on that also. House Bill 432, water rights. As I've sent you all that in the email, Jesse Reed. if you have any comments, you send them to Janelle or anything, and then we'll put it together and be with Ross and move forward on that, and then we'll bring that before the council and the public to be able to vote on that. That's something that's very important. Next Tuesday, Governor Gianforte has asked me to be out at the semi-link out here on the highway at 9 a.m. He'd like to talk to me about House Bill 432 that he signed and water rights, and he knows about our situation in town. So he's going to basically a photo op, he wants me there, but I'll say it out here, I can't take no credit for that. That would have to go to our previous mayor, Mayor Gibson. He was the one that spearheaded this. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be here now, so we have to thank him for that. And I'd like to also say that yesterday, we attended Stockman's Bank grand opening. Gina, I, Janelle, and Andrina, and Steve. And we were presented a $5,000 check for park improvements down there, mainly the bathroom. The estimate was close to $2,500, and they doubled it. We didn't know that, so that was very, very emotional. Very nice. And they also said that if you need more help, just let us know. And there was also another bank president that contacted me. He wants to have lunch too, to see what he could do. His name is Chad. Chad, the other bank president that,
Oh, you mean for security?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, he's contacted me and wants to have lunch or something, and we can sit down and see if we can do some improvements there too. So there's some good things coming down the pipe on there. And also, that $5,000 is the estimate of $2,500. We still have $2,500 or so. So we'll probably bring that to the park board, and the park board help us figure out what we want to do with that. So that'll be on the agenda there too. So, and I'd also like to speak on, we were having a summit last week in Hamilton. One of the big things that came up was misinformation. Misinformation is out there, it's everywhere, we all know. But we have to be very diligent on bringing it into town hall. Because when you bring it into town hall, that's when rumors start and shit happens. And I'll give you a good example. Today, I was walking and I ran into an individual on the street. We started talking about this and that, and he said, well, you know, the rumor around town is the town of Stephenville is using their water and sewer money to help prop up the airport. I mean, come on, really?
Thank you.
It's a
It's just wrong, and he said, well, that's weird, a lot of people teed off about that around town. You know, we all know Stephenville, how things fly.
Same rumor in 82.
So,
I think that was pulled out of the sewer orifice.
but anyway, I just went back to misinformation. We have to be real careful, all of us. Not you, but I mean, let's try to get the facts right. And if there's any questions at all, council, please, like we said tonight, when we took the 10-minute recess and went in there, all your council members could come in any time of the week and get any bit of information you want. You can ask any question of Gina, Janelle, I, Robert, it's there, everything, not just for you, but for the public. And it's really sad that people sit out there, but they're willing to slam town hall and us, but they won't come in here to find the facts. They won't come in here and get the facts, and that's so sad. It's so sad. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion.